Lave radio? It's even louder than me. Wait a minute. That can't be right.
Amid the stars in the sky, humanity expands and thrives as it pushes back the boundaries of the universe. From the luxury of the core systems to the harsh worlds of the frontier, men still fight. Some fight for survival or greed. Some fight for a flag and others for retribution. But across the lonely darkness, they all share one aim: to be elite.
Escape Velocity, an elite dangerous audio adventure serial written and produced by Christopher Jarvis. Series 2, Episode 5, No Quarter Given.
Can you see what these crates contain?
Yeah, just a sec. Oh no.
What?
Robots. Space. I should have known.
Robots?
Everywhere I go, they seem to follow me.
Ow! They're freezing to the touch.
Kurlek said these robots had a life support capability.
Why would they have that?
Because they're not robots. There's space inside for a person.
Open it. Open it up.
What?
Help me get this faceplate open.
There's a person inside, cryogenically frozen.
I think we just figured out where my brother is.
But there's hundreds of containers. What's that? The cargo loader's moving.
That's one way onto the ship.
We can't go on there, we'll be trapped. We have to jump.
I don't think so. Look over the side.
Stay where you are.
I think those guards would like us to get on board.
Great.
Thane and the mining woman are on board. Commencing liftoff.
Excellent. Have a strike team pick up Kurlek.
Very good, sir.
Commander Risha,
I'm here, Chairman Cormac.
are you in your ship? Follow us up and dock with us. Thane is in our cargo bay.
He will be easy prey.
Gratified to hear it. End of the road, Thane.
Come on, Kurlek, keep up.
Give me a chance. This metal leg doesn't move as fast as the other one.
We need to go, hurry.
Can't we wait for Thane in the bar?
Drinking to forget something?
There's always something to forget.
Mate, Kurlek, come in.
Thane, are you okay?
For now, we walked straight into a trap. The ship we were investigating took off. I thought I'd better call you before these communicators go out of range.
Well, what do we do?
Specs, I hate to ask you this, but did your education include stealth piloting?
Yes. If I manage the drive systems and the heat output of the Merlin, I can stay undetected.
Then follow us, if you can. The ship's an Imperial trader. I'll think of a plan later. Find me.
No problem.
If you're starting to break up, I think we're going to lose transmission.
Are you going to go after him?
Of course I am. You think we should abandon him?
If you want to survive, it's not always a good idea to run into trouble, not when there's another option.
I see. Do you know we were followed back?
Followed? By whom?
Whoever they are, they're here.
Oh, boy, fire!
Quick, into the mountain!
Right behind you.
Signal's broken up. We must be leaving the atmosphere.
I didn't think my first time in space would be like this.
You'd be surprised.
What do we do? They must know we're on board.
Nothing for it but to have a look around, see if we can find what we came for, and then maybe a way out.
Do you think my brother's here?
It'd take too long to search each container. There's hundreds. Our best hope is that there's a manifest somewhere.
I can't imagine the corporation writing this stuff down. An illegal shipment like this could finish them.
That's it.
What?
That's what the mech suits are for. Kurlek said they were impervious to scans.
How impervious?
Completely. Total sensor blackout.
So, if you wanted to transport slaves with nobody finding out...
You load them into a cryogenic life support system. Security can scan these things as often as they like, and they'll never show up as anything but...
A shipment of robots? But where are they taking them?
Your guess is as good as mine.
There's so many of them.
One for every person the corporations have run into debt and then forced into service. Once you're a slave, they can order you around as they please. You're not a person anymore.
And that's why you ran?
Yeah, that's why I ran.
Didn't you say this was an Imperial ship? Slave trading's okay there, isn't it? What was that?
Ship-to-ship seal. Something just docked with us.
Chairman Cormac, I am docked and ready to come aboard. Is my quarry ready for me?
He's still in cargo bay 4. I'll have a squad meet you.
They will not be necessary.
This is my ship. You'll do as I say. You still get paid the same.
It is not all about the money.
Nevertheless, my team will accompany you.
Very well.
And remember, I want him alive or recognizable.
What of the woman?
She's of no interest to me.
Is there a bounty on her life?
No.
Then she is of no interest to me either. Risha out.
Sark, head down to the... Sark? Now where's she gone?
Commander Risha, my squad is at your disposal.
Follow me, and try not to get in my way.
You still haven't told me where you've seen them before.
Seen them before. That's it. I was taking a shipment to Semias.
You traded slaves?
No, the robots I took were empty. Camilla must have been demonstrating the tech to a buyer.
Who is Camilla?
Piercing eyes, greyed arse, sociopathic tendencies. You'd have hated her. She's dead now.
Oh, good. But Semius is an imperial system.
But trading slaves is still illegal, like here. The treaty with the Federation in Semius stops the Imperials buying and selling slaves.
But
every Imperial family wants a servant. Cormac Reeve must have figured out a profitable way to ship slaves from the frontier...
where no one will miss them...
to Semius. And all the while the cargo travels as robots. And no scan, Federal, Imperial or Independent, will know the difference.
So my brother is on Semius, somewhere.
Probably. If we can get this information to the Federation, he could be freed.
Your conversation is of bright interest.
Who's there?
Who are you?
My name is Sark. And unless you do as I say, very carefully, you will die.
Give yourselves up! This is where to go! Number 2 all, May. Never hold fire.
We can't win here. Our position is tactically weak. We need to get to the ship.
No, you'll be hurt.
Unusually concerned for me, Kurlek.
They left you in my care. Although I'm not too sure if there's the other way around.
The entrance to the mountain hangar is just there. Can you cover me?
Yes.
Once I'm there, I'll provide cover fire until you can catch up, okay?
Just go.
Right. Kurlek, I'm here. Move.
Close the door.
Can you seal it?
Stand back. I'll weld it shut.
They've gone inside. There's a hidden door, sir. It's sealed.
Get some detonator packs. We'll blast our way in.
Yes, sir.
Who are you?
Never you mind. Right now, I'm Chairman Colmac's personal assistant, and I need you to answer some questions about this cargo.
If you work for Colmac, why not ask him yourself?
You've seen this technology before?
Yeah, sold to me by a woman called Camilla.
Where did she get them?
I don't know. She's dead.
This is stolen Federation technology.
Federation? Why would the Federation transport slaves?
They wouldn't. It's against everything they stand for. Or everything they say they stand for. What's that?
That's the security squad, come to arrest you.
Haven't you already done that?
Listen to me carefully. I know you have no reason to trust me, but if you play along and do as I say, I might be able to get you out of here.
What?
Don't trust her, Thane. We should run.
There's nowhere to go.
You reckon? This cargo vault is a maze. I bet we can flank around them and take the doorway.
Thane, trust me. I can protect you both.
No. Sorry.
Thane, come on.
Where's the ship? Don't wait for me.
No.
May, the ship door's closed. May, let me in.
I'm sorry, Kurlek.
Sorry? What are you doing?
I know what you did, Kurlek. You sold me out to the family. Who came for me? A sister? One like me? Who bought your allegiance?
How did you know?
I completed the training because of you. I can read you now. Every word you say to me, every look on your face is scrawled with your actions. You did this.
Okay, this way.
Slow down.
Down here.
Not that way.
Freeze. Oh, heck.
Space.
Stay where you are.
Wait till she gets close, then distract her. I'll go for her and get the gun.
No, it's too dangerous.
I can do it.
Commander Thane, at last.
Do I know you?
You got away from me in Duval Terminal. You will not escape a second time.
What about me?
You are of no interest. Thane, with me. Guards, get the woman.
Thane, now!
Andrew, no!
Stupid. Did you really think I was that slow?
factory.
Such a waste. Not even a bounty I can collect.
You murdered her. I'll kill you. I swear to the gods.
I think not.
With us, Thane. On your feet.
I won't leave her.
Then join her, if you wish. My orders are only to leave your corpse identifiable.
Commander, no!
What are you doing here?
I was trying to apprehend the stowaway without bloodshed.
Where is the sport in that? You, bring him.
Nighty-night.
May, I am sorry. Truly sorry for what I did.
I know. It was your guilt that gave you away.
So is this payback? Shutting me out to face arrest?
It's not payback. I have to rescue Thane, but I can't trust you to come with me. I can see through you, Kurlek. See what kind of man you are. You're so weak. Your loyalty is bought so cheap. I've run every scenario through my head for rescuing Thane, and in every one, you're a risk. An unacceptable risk.
The soldiers are coming.
And you'll be taken. I'm sorry. I love you like family. I just can't trust you.
Over there! Move!
They've broken through. Goodbye, May.
Goodbye, Kurlek. I hope I see you again.
Halt! Step away from the ship.
Certainly.
Stay where you are.
Actually, I'm going to run. You might want to keep up.
If you run, I'll shoot.
More fool you. This ship is about to fire its engines. It's going to get pretty hot standing here.
Randomies! Everybody out! Out now! Retreat!
Good lad.
Well, Sark. Where have you been?
I went to help bring in the prisoner, sir.
Oh, you did you? Elias Thane. Wakey. It's nice to have our property back.
I'm no one's property. Least of all a witch lover like you.
Brave words. When your body's on display in your hometown, maybe I'll put that on a board and nail it to your chest. Alternatively, maybe you'd be a better example in your proper place, in service to your betters.
You're crazy if you think I'll stay put as a slave.
Crazy? I don't think so. We can break you, Thane, have no doubts about that. It's only a matter of time, and we have plenty of time on the long flight to Semius. I don't know why you're laughing. You're facing a world of hell.
The last person I met that was involved with these robots was brutally assassinated. I could only assume for her part in this. I can't wait to see what they do to you.
You talk big, slave. That won't last. Sark?
Sir?
Have Commander Thane escorted to a cell. We'll soften him up for market.
Sir. In here. Sergeant, leave us.
Very well, ma'am.
Come here. Give me your hands.
What are you doing?
Removing your handcuffs, if you agree to help.
What do you want?
What you know about these mech suits. Would you testify to it? In federal court?
What? Who are you?
It doesn't matter. Would you help me to bring this evidence to the federal authorities?
What's in it for me?
Witching hell, I hate space jockeys. You're in handcuffs, locked in a cell by a man who wants to either kill you or sell you into servitude. What do you think is in it for you?
It pays to be clear on a contract. You'll get me out of here?
Space, yes. We can take Colmac's interplanetary shuttle.
Why couldn't you bring the evidence yourself?
Colmac never trusted me. This trip is the first chance I've had to go near the cargo. You're my proof of a wider conspiracy in the core. If we can get this information to the Federation, we can stop the slave train and indict Colmac. Maybe even revoke his trading permits in legal space.
Oh, Sark. You disappoint me. Commander Risha?
Yes, Chairman?
Looks like I've got some extra work for you.
Computer, scan system for craft Imperial Trader.
One contact found. Craft designation Lima, Echo 2544.
Track target.
Target locked.
Status?
Target is mass locked by Noble Terminal.
I need to catch it before it goes to hyperspace. Interception course, now.
What's the matter? Don't you want to stop this?
Whatever we do, it won't bring Andrew back. All she wanted to do was find her brother.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Me too.
Thane? Thane, can you hear me?
What's that?
Thane, if you're there...
It's your radio. I had the guard give me your effects.
Give it here.
Answer me!
Hello? Hello, May? Do you read me?
Thane, you're safe!
Well, ish.
Where is she? On board somewhere?
No, she's in a ship. Better than any shuttle.
Using a hand radio? Space, she must be close.
I'm tracking your position. I'm coming for you.
Great, now all I need is a way off this ship. Does this crate have any passenger escape pods?
Okay, I'll show you. Guard, can you help me with the prisoner?
Very well, ma'am. Oh!
Nice punch.
Come on, let's go.
This way, Faye. Down this access corridor.
Our target is heading down to the escape pods. We have to get them off. You three, head around to the portside access corridor and head them off.
Ma'am.
You two, with me.
Ma'am.
And take off your safeties. We shoot to kill.
How much further?
The pods are just down here.
There he is! Open fire!
They're after us.
Cut through here.
Back this way. There's another way round.
Looks like that's cut off too.
There isn't another way to the pods. We're trapped.
We're not done yet.
What are you doing?
Rule 1. Take this, you'll need it.
Orders, ma'am?
They've gone into engineering. It's a dead end.
Shall we round them up?
They are my prey. You'll follow me, but stay close behind.
We're well and truly stuck down here. The engineering section is sealed. There's no way out except back through those guards.
Heading aft. We can get out through there.
There aren't any exits.
Trust me. This way.
But it's a dead end.
Trust me.
They're this way. I can hear them. After them.
You're going to get us killed.
Here.
Yeah, like I said, it's a dead end.
I've got you now. Both of you.
Thane, get down.
Put your gun down, Sark. There's no way out of here.
Very sensible thing.
Besides, I said I'd kill you myself. I'm glad you're close enough I can watch the light go out of your eyes.
Hollow words from desperate prey.
Not really. I hope you're wearing a REM lock. Rule 1 of space travel. May, are you there?
I'm here. Weapons hot.
Then enlighten our friend here. What's my second rule?
Never hold fire.
Captain, raise shield.
Too late!
Sark, take my hand. Don't let go.
We're hit. An undetected ship has opened fire.
Evasive action.
We're getting Remlock alarms from Deck 4. Some of them are outside the ship.
Seal the bulkheads. Come about and prepare to return fire.
But what about the survivors? We have a duty.
Destroy that ship first, Commander. Destroy it!
Attention. Remlock alarm. Cargo scope online.
A little closer. Closer.
Cargo secured.
Computer, fire hyperdrive as soon as we're out of that ship's mass shadow.
Hyperdrive online.
Maximum acceleration.
Fire, damn you, fire!
Target vessel is fleeing. Out of firing range in 3, 2, 1. Target vessel has entered hyperspace. Returning for Remnock survivors.
No!
Thane? Thane, are you okay?
Okay. Cold. How long were we in space?
Only a few seconds. I was a good pilot before I finished my lessons, remember?
There was another. Where is she?
She's here, Thane. I scooped you up together. I'll get the thermal restoration kit from the medical locker. Who is she?
Long story.
In episode 5 of Escape Velocity, Christopher Jarvis played Thane, Amy Timms May, Alan Wales Kerlek, Liam Macaulay Dallas, and Kaytee Khaos Risha. Chambers Warwick played Andre, Anthony Wilkes Colmack, and Sark was Janet Westwood Wilson, with Anne Collins as the matriarch. Additional parts were played by the cast. Escape Velocity was written and produced by Christopher Jarvis, with music by Alan Stroud, and is a Radio Theatre Workshop production for laveradio.com. Elite is copyright Frontier Developments. For more information, please visit escapevelocity.laveradio.com.
Go for Dallas.
Agent 39, we have your report. Excellent work reacquiring the prototype.
I am honoured to serve, Matriarch.
And you are to be rewarded. Where are you now?
I'm on a transport, heading back to Horse. I'll recover my ship and return to base.
Change of plans. Your time has come.
Eminence?
I have a file in front of me, 39. A very special file. Concerning the identity of your guiding light.
My guiding light?
Yes, Dallas. Your destiny is close at hand. You will fulfill your purpose and share your darkness.
I wish to share my darkness.
Very good. Because Commander Thane is no longer Alpha 45. Thane is now your Alpha. Thane is now designated Alpha 39.
Thane?
He has become a problem. You will deal with him.
Thane.
The Radio Theatre Workshop and Fantastic Books Publishing present 5 official new audiobooks ranging the universe of Elite Dangerous. Elite Reclamation. Twists and turns in a political thriller by Drew Wagar.
Tenim nodded. Something this big hasn't happened in this sector since the Thargoid incursions of 50 years ago. Do they want to fight? Tenim chuckled. Of course they do.
Elite Mostly Harmless. Offbeat and witty space adventuring by Kate Russell.
The irony was, if she could get the damn thing into port any time soon without busting up her equipment, she might be able to afford a new docking computer.
Elite and Hear the Wheel. Action-packed space opera by John Harper.
A bullet ploughed into his headrest. Robert jerked awake, adrenaline exploding in his veins. The circle car was pinned against a building, empty.
Elite Tales from the Frontier. 15 incredible short stories from worldwide authors, including the writers of Escape Velocity and the Tales of Mar-Jayal.
Get that navigation console online now!
We need you to run through the manual docking approval process before proceeding. Please stop your ship.
and Elite Lave Revolution, the epic new full-cast audio drama from the Radio Theatre Workshop, returning to where Elite started and fighting for the future.
We are revolutionaries. This act will be the first of many in our struggle.
It's alright, he can't see us.
I'm the man holding the gun.
Starring Toby Longworth, Penelope MacDonald, Scott Ainsley, Kate Russell, and a host of performers. The Elite Dangerous audiobooks are now available to pre-order from fantasticbookspublishing.com.
Lave Radio, transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
Dreams. Humanity's dreams. The hope to live among the stars. From early times, we've gazed up to the heavens and wondered if one day we could travel there. Maybe even live there. The Brewer Corporation has made this dream a reality. Constructing intricate cathedrals of metal, circling numerous planets across thousands of systems in our human bubble. Why stay rooted in a gravity well when you can be free in orbit, free to dream, free to live, and one day to become the commander and be free to blaze your own trail? Brewer Corporation, the first step into the unknown. Come join us. Be free.
welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings and welcome to Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders.
Greetings, Commanders.
The show that talks about the universe of Elite
and the development of the computer game Elite 4, known as Elite Dangerous.
and the fantastic
community that surrounds it.
Broadcast from a current Sidewinder and hosted by a vending machine technician.
A place of nonsense and innuendo for forum dads.
A self-contained podcast 2 hours long.
Transmitting to every corner of the galaxy.
It's even louder than me.
The hottest show this side of Dizzo.
The name of the place.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Lave Radio.
Greetings, Commanders, and welcome to episode number 420, woohoo, of Lave Radio, the show about the universe of Elite and the fantastic community that surrounds it. I'm your host, Commander Psychit, and joining me in the orange Sidewinder bar for this episode are our head of health and safety, Commander...
Yeah.
Angel Rice. All right.
You took a breath.
Forgive me for taking a breath, Ben. I'm so sorry.
Jesus.
I'm so sorry. Otherwise known as Ben Moss Woodward. We have our apprentice stunt driver. Or was it like Stunt Banksy now? Did Colin change it?
I think he's a Banksy. Yeah.
It's very confused.
I'm just very confused today.
I'm still between job titles.
It's all right. We'll find a proper role for you eventually. Commander Alec Turner.
Hello.
And we have as you can tell, I am not Colin. I know it's very difficult to distinguish between our two voices. So I get it.
Colin doesn't breathe.
There's the thing. That's the problem. That's why you just felt like you had to jump in there and fill in that dead space.
Exactly.
But we do have the absolutely wonderful, excellent, who finished her stream early for us tonight. The wonderful, excellent Commander Kaytee Khaos. Welcome on in, my lovely.
Hiya. Talk about, a bit of short note. You dragged me off my stream. That's what you did.
Listen.
But I'm here.
So Colin is a little stuck in transit at the moment. So we had mildly short notice of there being no Colin, and me and Ben were rushing around like headless chickens. So we're very, very grateful that you were able to drop in. But Colin should be back next week, hopefully, fingers crossed, providing nothing crazy happens. Either way, let's continue with the show. If you wish, you can join us live. We are hanging out in game in open while Ben is. Where the heck are you, Ben?
I'm visiting I'm rescuing people from the Thargoids, because the Thargoids are no longer our brethren. They're making things burn and stuff. So I'm trying to evacuate people.
All right, perfect.
In names that are alphabet soup.
Quite. There's a fair amount of those in the bubble and in the galaxy, so that's fine. If you cannot get in game to come and join us, you can always come and join the Twitch channel, which you can access through laveradio.com/live and clicking on live chat. Or you can go to twitch.tv/laveradio. We're also on Facebook and Twitter. Are we still doing those things where we go live on those things as well? Also, YouTube is the thing. I forget about that sometimes.
I believe we're still on Facebook and Twitter. Is Twitter still going?
Yeah.
Twitter still works, is it? Okay.
We've got a cabbage and a Twitter set up to see which one goes first. At the moment, Twitter's still holding out, so we're all good. Let's start by finding out what everybody's been up to in the last week. Shall we? Let's start with Ben. How are you doing, mate?
Been doing all right. So yeah, it's been a quiet week for me actually. Yeah, I'm not doing a lot. Definitely not dying in elites. You know, not trying to rescue people or anything like that. Yeah, it's been quiet. I've done very, very little really.
Fair. Okay, no worries. What about you, Alec? What you've been up to?
What I've been up to? I missed a week. I threw a strop last week, everybody. I didn't want spoilers, so I stormed. No, I didn't storm off, but I didn't want spoilers. But I have been playing this marvelous update, which is fantastic. More on that later. I went to see an amazing film called Triangle of Sadness, which has quite possibly the most extraordinary vomiting scene I've ever seen in my life. It's very funny, but also very dark. But yeah, if you like your films slightly arty but also very thought-provoking, then highly recommended. And it's December, so we allowed ourselves to buy a Christmas tree. Yay!
Excellent.
But you know, funny thing about Christmas trees actually, because on I can't remember, it was some breakfast news, and they were interviewing the TV growers, and they were all saying, well, of course, our prices have had to go up because of shipping costs and blah blah blah. So we get down there, and crikey, yes, Christmas trees were extremely expensive. But I don't know. Yeah, most of us here are probably old enough to remember that Christmas trees used to be quite thin, and all their needles used to fall off. Well, we've bought one of those. So your nice big plump modern Christmas trees cost about 65 quid upwards, maybe. Your old-fashioned Christmas trees, what I remember from my childhood, they only cost 21. So we got one of those. But it made me think, well, surely it costs the same to grow and transport the spindly one as the plump one. So I think they're artificially raising their prices, actually.
But they're not optimal for the season, so that's why they're selling them at cheap prices. That said, we were in IKEA the other day, and the ones that you can actually, like the fake trees that you can buy from IKEA are like the old spindly ones, like without any background. So maybe they're making a resurgence, and you're onto something. You're the Christmas tree hipster right now, Alec.
Well, that's the hope. As long as they did say the needles, once we brought it inside, we've got 2 weeks before all the needles fall off. So it's currently outside, and we're trying to time it very carefully so that all the needles fall off on Christmas Day.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Amazing. Incredible. Hi, Kaytee Khaos. Welcome to Lave Radio. This is what happens here. We talk about stuff that isn't at all Elite Dangerous related, and then we touch on it right towards the end. How are you doing, my lovely? It's good to see you.
I'm good. I'm good to be here. Thanks for asking me on. Yeah. All is good. Yeah, just been spending lots of time playing the heck out of this new update right now. And mostly not doing war stuff, but taking advantage of the whole sort of exobiology tweak.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. What have I been up to this week? Oh my gosh. I have been playing a lot of Elite Dangerous, as one is wont to do in the current climate. Not an awful lot else, really. We don't have much of a wall update. Remember, someone ran into a wall. We're kind of sort of stagnantly waiting. There's been conversations between different insurance companies, and that's about the level of what I know. So that's a thing that happened. And I've also discovered a new like real play D&D thing to watch, and it's all I've been obsessed with it. When I've not been obsessed with Elite, I've been watching like real play Dungeons and Dragons with Dimension 20, which I can only, if you enjoy Dungeons and Dragons, I can only recommend Dimension 20. It is fluffy, phenomenal. They do a lot of different like genre switches and mashups with their role playing, and it's wonderful, and I love it. That said, I'd like to talk about Elite Dangerous, if I may. First and foremost, we've got Ben. How many paint jobs do we have to give away? Ben.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting shot and I'm not unmuting my microphone.
Okay, you probably had it coming, to be fair.
I did. I was too busy swearing on stream and things like that. That's killing these Thargoids because they're not appreciating my hard points.
Quite.
But no, we have Frontier have been beautiful and lovely and given us a 10 sets of 4 paint jobs to give away.
And they're the Snowfall Party ones.
They're the beautiful purpley snowbally one, yes, snowflakey one.
Perfect. So basically, we haven't. Everything's been a little bit fraught and a little bit short notice this week. So the basics of it is we've decided keep an eye on all of our different socials and on Discord and things like that, and on our Twitter and all of those kind of places, and we'll pop something there, and like the first 10 people to respond to our different social media or Discord areas will probably end up getting things. You'll know them when you see it. Do you think that's fair, Ben? Shall we go with that?
I would probably sort of like, okay, if we have 10 people do it, then all 10 of them get it. If 20 people do it, I'd put it onto a draw.
Yeah,
the first
sure.
10, but...
Perfect.
So, I don't know. We'll do something.
Well, we're still working it out. We're still working out the dotting the I's and crossing the T's with that one. But keep an eye on our social.
Playing the game to do organization.
Yeah, we're incredibly fraught and very unorganized today. But that's just a normal Lave radio show. So why am I apologizing? Let's move on to the development news then, shall we? What have the devs said this week? Holy shit, what haven't the devs said this week? We had on Thursday, we had Frameshift Live number 22, which was, we had an interview with Tom, and then we had Darren in the studio with them. First and foremost, did you guys watch it? Did all of you watch it?
Yep.
Indeed.
Yep.
On catch-up, mostly.
What?
Yeah.
What did you think? Yeah. What were your takeaways from it?
It was
Tom
great.
Was very tall.
And wearing shorts in November. I'm still convinced is a clue that we need to fly cold. It was fab. It's one of the few Frameshift lives that I've watched all the way through twice. Because I just felt like I got to the end and thought, yeah, I didn't take all that in. I need to watch the whole thing again. It was good.
Yeah, I certainly agree. I want to go back and watch certainly Tom's interview again, because I feel like he gave so much information. Like so many extra bits of information we weren't really aware of, and like for example, the vision of the authoress and how far that could see and things along those lines, which really was such a big help for us sort of figuring out the best ways to approach them and the best ways to discover.
Yeah. Actually, do you know, I experienced that today. So I found my first, I hadn't been looking before, but I found my first authoress today. And I just wanted to watch it. So I was flying kind of alongside it, I suppose, literally level with it for a while. And then I thought, I want to get slightly around the front just to get a different camera angle on it. And I got maybe like 45 degrees within, of the front of it. And then suddenly it definitely knew I was there and kicked off. But
awesome.
But literally alongside it, I got the impression it hadn't got a clue I was there, and then I kind of crept in front of it, and it spotted me. Yeah, it's really good.
Cool. Let's start with Ben. Were there anything that from Frameshift Live that you like? I need to know that. I need to take that away with me. Anything that you picked up?
I'm just trying. So when I picked up on what Alec was saying about the about the angles and things like that. I can't think of anything that massively jumped out at me, but then I'm not really into the AX stuff.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. And, yeah.
That does make sense. What about you, Kaytee?
Just interesting that it's not just an all-out straight-off combat ship to begin with.
Yeah.
That it's a little bit of a different type of ship. And thinking, are we going to see, the Goids generally represented differently? We're going to see other types of ships, or then obviously leading on to what we hope might happen with ground-based stuff. But seeing more of their sort of organization, I suppose. That I found really interesting.
Absolutely. Cool. Alec?
Yeah, there was one other thing I just remembered. I think it was Tom. Actually, it might have been both of them said it, and and they looked right at the camera when they said it, and it's kicked off a little bit on the forums, but I absolutely loved it. Was basically the whole thing that it's up to us. And if we don't do something about this war, the bubble's going to burn. It's like the whole thing where they described, that it's no longer hand placed, that it's that this is a simulation that's running, that the Thargoids have their
AI, yeah.
It's
Thognet.
AI, and if we don't do something about it, we're screwed. I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it puts everything into like a really interesting perspective, doesn't it? Like when we're told categorically that if we do not react, we are completely and utterly buggered. We need it's been fascinating. It really has. Ben.
Does that not just make you want to kind of leave things alone and see what happens? Or is that just me?
No, a bit. Yes, a bit.
There's a little bit of okay. You're gonna you're saying that if we don't do anything, it's all right then. Bet.
Come on. I don't want this to happen, but I really kind of. I'd be fascinated.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I'm assuming we're going to be covering this later. This is the thing that's so brilliant and brave about this entire event.
I'm so excited about that though. The way it's not placed anymore, so it can just go now. They can just burn the bubble, and I'd so love to see them burn a huge chunk of it.
Amazing.
I don't feel so wrong.
Incredible.
I know.
Absolutely incredible. We will definitely, we're 100% going to circle back round to that. So it's all good. On Friday we had one of my personal favorites of the week. It was the Galnet News Roundup from Paul. Came out on Friday with such favorites as Thargoids are like buses, none of them for ages, and then several of them run over your mate Dave, which is absolutely perfect, and took more of a somber tone this week for some strange reason, can't think what. And then on Monday we had the Discovery scan, which basically did what we do. Talked about the update, talked about Galnet News Roundup, talked about the drops, the Noble Chairs giveaway as well, and then mentioned like some really weird charity single that people have been involved in, but we'll come back to that later. Any thoughts on the dev news this week? It's been a packed week for like everything, but is there anything that anybody else wants to bring up about the dev news this week?
I like the chair. I don't like that.
Gleam.
Click here and do this, and I can't remember the name of the
Gleam.
Yeah, Gleam. I don't. I like it in that it feels like it opens it up and it gives lots of things, but I don't like it because it's like, we'll take all your data and yay!
I will say,
oh my god, the chair's sexy.
Yeah, the chair is sexy. I will say that this particular one only has 4 steps, so it's not like the visit 20 different people on Instagram and all of those different kind of things. It's 4 steps and you get 4 entries. There's no like extra bit to it.
Yeah.
So like, just like to abate you a little tiny.
No,
I do know what you
that's
mean,
better
Ben.
than the 10 ones. And...
I do know what you mean, Ben. But everyone's got their price, and wow,
oh, yeah.
that chair's nice.
that chair
I'm
is
like,
nice.
yeah, you know what? Fuck it, take my data. It's fine. It's
It's like it's one of these. It's like with the whole thing with Facebook. Yeah, if you're not the customer, you're the product.
I'm willing to make that sacrifice. It is not a problem at all. By all means. Okay then, let's move on to the in-game events. What's happened this week? Well, just nice and good to know that it's been a really quiet week for Elite Dangerous. On Tuesday, late on Tuesday, we got the notification that Taranis had unleashed their Thargoid invasion fleets, which happened on I think that actually came out during Lave last week, that on an article. Then on Wednesday there was another article that read as havoc of Thargoids overrun multiple systems. On Thursday, new maelstroms increased Thargoid conquests. And then we had a quiet 3 days where everything was on fire. And then on Monday, we had a refugees flee from Thargoid offensive. Oh God, that one was heartbreaking. Oh my God, that one was heartbreaking. We'll come back to that in just a second. But it's the first Galnet article that I've ever read that made me cry. And then on today, Chase admits the Kingfisher mission was a mistake in a strange turn of events. He's admitted that. And then the other thing that we got today was an article about a new CG for enhanced AX weaponry.
That's hot off the press, isn't it? I only saw that about 2 hours ago.
Yeah, it was really recent.
And did I see it right? Is it an 8-week CG? That's really weird, isn't it?
It's an 8-week or until it finishes CG.
Okay.
At the moment, the way it's looking, obviously everybody's sprung into action because new things to shoot Thargoids with. At the moment it looks like it's going to be done by the weekend. So by the following Thursday, the CG says by the following Thursday they will be available. I will go to Ben about the CG. What's up, mate?
Oh, I'm actually confused by the CG because in the text it says 8 weeks, but in the summary blurby stuff it says 4 weeks.
Which summary blurby stuff? You're gonna have to help me out.
Let me. I need to. So I need to bring up the tweet now, and I don't have it to hand.
Oh, I can pull it up. Do you mean on the website?
Yeah, I'll be on the website. I'm just going there now, but I'm not there. So community goal. Here we go.
It says expires in 1 month.
In 1 month, yeah.
Now, I think that is because it's set to expire like right towards the end of January. So it's only counting 1 month in whatever they're counting down with, and they've not given us many variables as say Inara, who's measuring the right thing, measuring the proper length. Does that make sense?
I mean, it'll be simple for me to check. I can just log on and have a look at the date and see how long there is.
For sure. Alec?
Maybe they're using the same timer that they're using in game, the week timer on the Thargoid War that's counting down one week per day.
Probably. That's probably it. Does anybody have anything that they wish to discuss from the Galnet articles this week and from the ongoing story?
I've got a slight confusion, to be honest, because it's like, I want to join in the CG and I want to go and help get pew pew.
Right.
But I also want to actually sort of try and rescue people and get them out of Dodge.
Okay.
And there's only one of me. And I can't multi-prop some things.
Just to clarify, Ben, I really want to just
Yes.
Be sure that I've got this right for just a moment. You're complaining because there is too much stuff to do in game at the moment.
I know it's a dead game. I know there's no
Dead
content.
game, mate.
We know
There's no
this.
content here.
Still gets.
What's that, Kay?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I still notice people who complain about, oh, it's all about combat, and it's like, no, it's not. There's so much stuff you can be doing. You don't need to engage in this AX stuff. You can do all those passenger missions. I'm loving that at the moment as well. Right.
I'm deliberately going to the ones on the ground because they just look so bloody pretty.
Yeah, yeah. Things being on fire looks really, really pretty.
Yes, you can confirm.
I do want to touch back on some of the other articles that have come out this week. The one that came out on Monday hit me like a ton of bricks. It ended along the lines of this person not being able to find, I believe it was her dad. They did this like little interview with this person who were like, I got on one ship, but my dad got on the other ship, and now I can't find him, and all of that kind of stuff. And for me, it made it about humanity again.
Yeah, some of the it made it into that human story, because there's that one paragraph. There's somebody saying, "I was at the starport observation window when their ships, those weird shaped star things, so like they've not even seen them before." It just really brought it to life. I loved it, but yeah, it really got you in the feels.
I had a big problem. I had a huge problem with it. I was like, I don't have emotions. What is going on? And I was like, oh my god. I think Napilius just said it's got BSG vibes. I'm assuming he's talking about a show that I've never seen, which is Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica,
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
Have you seen?
Probably not, but go
Miss
for
Marvel.
it. Yes, absolutely, I have.
The train scene with Miss Marvel and the evacuation, it's exactly the same.
Rooting it all in like human nature and human relationships just gets me, like trying to like bringing like actual visceral emotion into a story. I think it's fantastic.
Sorry, I'm laughing because Toko So just sent me a PM saying, "Thank God there's only one of you."
That's a good.
Yeah, I'm not laughing at the sadness of story.
Yes, quite. I appreciate that. But yeah, we have. Was anybody expecting, especially on a Tuesday, was anybody expecting to see G's anytime soon? Given the fact that we've just had this big wave of new content and stuff out.
I wasn't actually. I mean, there is a war on. I feel absolutely overwhelmed with things to do. So the last thing I needed was a CG to drop. But yeah, interesting.
I feel like we were talking about it on Monday as well, and it was very much everybody going, oh, not for a good couple of weeks. Yeah, there'll be. Yeah. We've got to see the there are only very few places where if you look on the galaxy map that the actual Thargoid bar is going up. But there's so much. There is so much stuff to do in the galaxy at the moment. It's just not just like your Thargoid stuff, but also all of the bloody payouts on the ExoBio stuff. We got money coming out of the wazoo right now, so I just wonder what's going to happen to make it all feel like even worse.
That's it with the exobiology. I'm basically doing that I'm building up as many credits as I can to then make a decent build AX ship with it. So
I suppose, yeah. There's also like I know we're definitely gonna go back to like circle back around to this. So I might actually pick this up later. Alec, you've got a question for Kaytee?
Yeah, on the exobiology, how far through exobiology ranking were you when this dropped?
I was right at the bottom. The bottom. Okay. What am I on now? Taxonomist or something. But I handed in one piece of data and went up about 3 ranks.
Well, this is what I saw. I've seen quite a surprising thing on the forums, which is I've seen a few people genuinely sort of saying that they were quite gutted. You know, that they were kind of enjoying the exobiology process, the idea of working through the ranks, and they came back from a trip, handed in their data, and found themselves elite ranked 5, and thought, bugger, that's that bit of gameplay finished for me then.
Do you think they've gone off and buffed it a little bit too much then?
Yes, I've been avoiding it actually because I read a few of those posts and thought, yeah, I don't want to suddenly. I quite like having objectives that are still in front of me.
And I also, Tal in chat is saying that money isn't dropping correctly. You're only getting 2 times and not 5 times.
Yeah,
I've heard other people say that as well.
Yeah, it seems to be a bit odd. I think I'm going to stay away from it.
Could be buggied.
Yeah, I think the multiplier is where it was putting it to ridiculous. It was like first finds and things like that, which were multiplying the amounts to ridiculous levels.
Okay.
I've just had a purple python, and that's not a euphemism.
Oh, can it not be? I'm so glad. Okay, right. So, unless anyone has got anything else to bring up with regard to the in-game events, I think we will move on to that time of the week again.
Store alert!
In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. In the bi-weekly newsletter, here come paint jobs for your art. A store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert, a store alert. Which one will you buy? A store alert, 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 a store alert. Which one will you buy?
And we have some more snowfall paint jobs in the old store this week. We have the snowfall mistletoe paint jobs, which are red. They're the normal, the same ones. So the same ones as the purple ones that you can get from our giveaways and from various Twitch drops, or the green ones that you could get from the elite streams, but they are red instead, and they're very pretty.
They are so Christmassy. I don't think you can get more Christmassy than these paint jobs.
The crate genuinely looks like and the ones what? Okay, so everyone with the line that goes across the middle, which is all of them now. I see every single one of them. That wiggly line or that zigzag line down the middle, they look like Santa. They look like a Santa suit with a big white bit of the coat in the middle. They're so beautiful.
Yeah, it's so Christmas. It's Father Christmas colours completely. The whole red and white thing.
It's gorgeous.
Why can't they do some for the Crate Mark II though as well? There's always the Crate Phantom. That's me moaning.
Can you imagine fighting Thargoids in a Christmas themed ship? I mean, yes, because I'm already kind of doing it, but actually in a Crate Mark II with that paint job on, amazing.
Yeah, I'm just thinking it's a shame there isn't a chieftain. I'm going to get into my AX builds a little bit, and so I was going to go for a chieftain. If damn, what a shame.
You're just appealing to half there, aren't you?
Yeah, can we have a Christmas chieftain?
Maybe I can hear Bruce going, yeah, maybe next year, all right. But yeah, these are really pretty. They're all of these ones I think are really pretty, and they've legit knocked it right out of the park on these ones. Anyone already purchased them yet, or are you keeping hold of
Are they
purple
as
ones?
metallic as they look?
Yeah, I like the purple one feels looks a bit like it's on top of the white is on top of the Stygian paint jobs. And I feel like the red is probably going to do a similar job. Like it's sort of like decals on top of the Stygian paints. I don't know. I'm getting that impression.
Goes to that, really sets it off, I guess.
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of a sparkle to it.
I'm a sucker for anything purple, so I'll be going for them.
Yeah, purple ones are cute. Okay, I think that was the only store stuff that we had this week. That was the only stuff that I could see. Anyway, I can't complain about not having content. It's fine. We're okay. So we are going to take a very, very quick. Well, we're going to take a little bit of a break. When we come back, we will have our main discussion, and I only wish there was something we could talk about.
Choose life, choose a ship, choose a career, choose a cargo, choose a fucking big ship, choose palladium, gold and electrical tin openers. Choose good health, low cholesterol and ship insurance, choose fixed interest loan repayments, choose a space station, choose your friends. Choose leisure wear and matching luggage, choose a paint job and hire purchase in a range of fucking colours. Choose decals, exploration, and wondering where the f*** you are on a Sunday morning. Choose sitting in that chair, running mind-numbing, spirit-crushing trade routes, stuffing f***ing junk food in your mouth. And choose rotting away at the end of it all, pissing your last in the void with no one out there to hear you, bury or do anything as you drift away in cold space. Until some comes along to steal your ship, your cargo, and your clothes, leaving your bones floating out in space. Choose your future. Choose life. But why would I want to do a thing like that? I choose not to choose life. I chose something else. And the reasons? There are no reasons. Who needs reasons when you've got onion head?
Oi, how you doing, my brother? So you run some data and you left your little sidey and you're starting to think about maybe a ship that can punch a little bit harder. Well, the Killback, the one with the little flappy wings, is just what the doctor ordered. It is multi-crew enabled and is the smallest ship with a fighter bay, so you can point and they will do your bidding. Ha! It's got 3 utility mounts, 2 small and 2 medium hard points, plus a whole batch of compartments. So if you want a bit of fun, grab a Killback, my son.
Space is vast, and pirates have needs just like anyone else. Introducing the Lonely Pirate Handbook, the ultimate resource for lonely pirates. Our guide covers the hot spots and not spots of interstellar space, from smugglers' dens to space station taverns, with helpful chapters such as how to be presentable in polite society, how to get rid of that nefarious rank, and my favorite, occasionally shower. Are your early advances often mistaken for attempts to rob or plunder?
Oh, I've come a long way for what's in your hold. Prepare to be boarded. Frameshift charge detected. Oh.
Buy today and receive the Lonely Pirates Chat-Up Guide for free.
I've got a very large hard point. Would you like to see my very large hard point?
You're so hot. You're making my temperature critical.
Lower your shields. I want to inspect the goods.
Come back to my place. I might let you touch my A-rated anaconda.
Are you smuggling illegal goods? Because you've got fine written all over you.
The Lonely Pirates Handbook. Now available in all Anarchy bookstores. We'll teach you to loot anyone's heart.
There's bargains at Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Etienne Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium haven't just been slicing carcasses, but also slicing their prices. All unspecified meat sausages now 2 for the price of 1. A pack of assorted meat steaks, now with 50% more meat at half the price. How about chops? Our surprising meat chops now also 50% off. And introducing our massive meat hamper. It's a family of 4. No, that should say feeds a family of 4, right?
Stick to the script, Claire.
It says it's a family of 4.
Okay, I'll stick to the script.
Yeah, you do that.
It's a family of 4. Etty and Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. Find us in the Lave business directory or visit us next to the station mortuary. Etty and Dawn's Unspecified Meat Emporium. You'll wonder how our prices are so low. And we're back. You might have noticed a new ad.
Back to the script, Claire.
Listen, that's not the new ad. The new ad is the one that featured lots of wonderful commanders. A new ad that is legitimately the joint brainchild of myself and the Chris Mark 4, but featuring, featuring Captain Flint, featuring both yourself, Ben, featuring Kaytee, featuring Kremen, featuring Crispy. I think that's everyone. But thank you everyone for chipping in with that one. We like to try and make one a week at this point. Sometimes two.
We've actually got somebody in the red the Santa suit, Santa crate here.
Oh, nice.
That is nice, isn't it?
That is very nice indeed. It looks very nice. There was something Alec just spotted while we were having our break there. What was it you spotted, Alec?
Yeah, actually, during the break, I just bought 2. I couldn't resist it. I bought the DBX and the Phantom, and I just noticed these the first paint jobs that say they are for the 4.0 client only. Interesting.
Yeah, I wonder why. I've just had a thought because I was saying it looks like something on top of Stygia. Might it be a case that we might in the future be able to put pulse paint jobs on top of other paint jobs? I'm just
I know why. I know why. Because there are no more Christmases for 3.8.
That's a really good point.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a really good point. It's just a snapshot of the galaxy now as it was.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. So we're on our main discussion now. While we jest that there is not a lot to talk about, there is a metric butt ton of stuff, not an imperial, a metric butt ton of stuff to talk about this week. It was pretty fresh for everyone last week. I think that's fair to say. Now we've had a good week of Odyssey, update 14. How are you feeling? I'm going to start with Alec on this one.
Crikey. 2 weeks ago, when I was on the show, I think we did a bit of a roundtable about how we were feeling about Update 4. And I think I was a bit not very excited, really, because it's going to be Thargoid combat. I'll take a quick look, but yeah, there's not going to be much in it for me, to be honest. I take that back. I am fucking loving it. Excuse the F. But
absolutely, yes.
It's hard to explain to someone that isn't there's so many things. I've seen so many people in my friends list come back. People are clearly loving it. It's not just, us. People are loving it. People are coming back in droves, and I'm hearing it's brilliant. It feels so all encompassing. Like I haven't done any combat since it dropped. I spent the first 4 days just running around looking at things, looking at the maelstrom, looking at the very first thing I did is in the little cutscene. There was the planetary base on fire, and I literally took down the name of it and thought, I'm going straight there. I've never seen anything like that in this game before.
Yeah.
And it's so much. A brilliant thing I saw, like on the second or third day, was a Coriolis that was just shut down. With the front shuttered. The shutters were down.
Oh right, okay.
It was amazing. I don't know why, but there was just something so amazing about this dead Coriolis. Just
where did you see that?
I can't remember.
Oh, I need to try and find one. I haven't.
Yeah, they're pretty easy.
I've seen one on
in the
video,
system app,
but I haven't seen it on the thing.
If you go in the system app, all the stations that just have the sort of grey and black cross through them and nothing else, those are all shut down. So just go to one of those. It's got a Coriolis.
Okay, I did not realize. I know that there's not any of the circular ground bases
Not yet. I keep going back.
None of
There's
those.
one that it's really funny. There's a system that's got attacked stations in it, and it's got shutdown stations in it, and it's got this little big circular round planetary port. And I keep going back to it, and the dialogue. There's nothing going on, and it's not shut down, and it's not on fire. And the dialogue from the NPCs is constantly like, "I'm sure Thargoids will be coming soon."
Yeah. We're actively fucked, but we need to be careful about what's happening.
There's so much, and also I just wanted to whiz through these. We might come back to these, but there's so much other little things. There's new audio tracks. There's masses of new NPC dialogue. There are NPCs tossing repair limpets around like candy. Oh, there's so much. I keep seeing new things and thinking that's new. That's new.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm
Very
gonna
exciting.
I'm gonna ask Kaytee exactly the same question now. How have you been finding update 14?
I mean, I think Alex said earlier on, overwhelmed. You used that term earlier on.
Yeah.
And completely. I mean, I don't know where to go and do what next and when. There's a big bit of FOMO coming in there. It's like, oh, but they're doing this and I haven't looked at that yet. But you know, this invasion's not going anywhere soon. Well, it might be coming more into the bubble, but you know what I mean? I'm not going to lose out on anything, but it's just wonderful. I mean, I was so excited the night before, and I literally was like the kid before Christmas, couldn't sleep and all of that, but then knew not to take the day off on patch day because I know better than that. But you know, again, all through the day waiting for the patch to drop, you know, past the time it didn't. Oh, I was just it's just wonderful. It's just opened the game up again, and I think hopefully it'll drag people back into the game. It'd be interesting to see where the figures go with it, but there's so much to do. It's the game I love most in the world, and I'm more in love with it now than I ever have been, I suppose. Yeah.
I think I think Colin was mentioning earlier in the week to us that the Steam charts are definitely showing like an uptick of people playing again. Which is quite nice. And then we've got Commander Face Guy in chat as well, who's just said that it's definitely got her playing again as well, which is fantastic to see, because I missed your pictures. What about you, Ben? How has this week been as far as like you getting to grips with update 14? How have you been finding it?
Yeah, I mean, I think like Alex said a couple of weeks ago, I was like, yeah, it's all combat. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I'll watch the story and see how it goes, but you know, not for me. And then last week, I'll admit that I was like, okay, I'm in a reasonable ship here, and I can't do jack, and that was really pissing me off.
Yeah, I remember we had that conversation.
And since then, I've gone off and it's this patch has made me go off and rebuild a ship basically, and even do some engineering to get to this thing up to the Dirty Drive 5 and things like that, because I was missing some bits and bats.
Yeah.
I had to go off and get some of them and exchange some things and so on, just to get my Dirty Drives up. And it's actually made me go back onto Coriolis and do a little bit of research to try and get a ship rebuilt, so that I can actually go and look at things and do things.
When was the last time you did that? Before this week? When was the last time you made a ship or like played in Coriolis?
The last time I actually had to research a ship would have been before Beyond. So
I think that really speaks volumes. Yeah, that absolutely speaks volumes for the impact that update 14 has had. That myself personally, I'm like all last week I was building a cold build dolphin. I was like, I'm never going to be out of this cold build dolphin. I'm going to be going and looking at stuff. I'm going to be going into these maelstroms. I'm going to be doing all of this investigative stuff. I've maybe flown it 3 times since update 14. I've been into the Maelstrom in it, and it was great, and it did the job that I needed it to do. But I flew it on that first day, flying around, just going and looking at stuff. And then I'm like, okay, right, I've looked at stuff now. I've done a couple of bits and pieces. I have other ships that can do other things slightly better. And also I wanted to something that was very, very apparent with update 14 was a lot of people who were either new or were hadn't really taken part in Thargoid combat and all of those kind of things, and were feeling a little tiny bit overwhelmed. So I really wanted to see what you could do as like a new unengineered commander as well. So I built a Crate Mark II for both. I've done it for both passengers and cargo, and I've been taking it into these ground bases that are on fire and rescuing people and stuff along those lines, and it genuinely works. And I'm so impressed with how. And these are builds that are less than 100 million. So you do a little bit of exobio when you first start, or you do a little bit of scanning, end up with 100 mil, and you can join in with this war effort. And I think that Frontier, the fact that Frontier have managed to achieve that and make it accessible to an awful lot of people is fantastic. Alex.
Yeah, just wanted to chip in on builds because I've seen a lot of questions in chat and on forum of new people who are obviously a little bit nervous that they maybe can't get involved. To be honest, although like Ben, I want to get out there and do builds, I haven't. I was just too keen to go and see stuff. So I just jumped into my Python, which is my just general purpose mission running Python. It's got nothing AX on it. The only thing I did is I went to the Sirius mega ship in Leasty and slapped on the pre-engineered heatsink launcher because I'd heard that was useful. But really, you know, outside of Thargoid combat, if you want to do rescue missions or you just want to go and see this stuff, maybe not try and penetrate the Maelstrom, but most other stuff, if you just want to go and look at these burning stations, really a few heat sinks are useful. And if your ship can go like 450, maybe 500 meters a second on a boost, you can just outrun all these things. You know, if you get interdicted, submit, just boost away. As long as I suppose what I am proficient at from Buckyball is landing quickly. So getting into a system and getting down and landing quickly. So a maneuverable ship is okay, but really you can just get out there and do stuff in your fairly bog standard ship, at least until you want to start fighting these things, I guess.
For sure. And I think the other thing that you can take away from that is like Frameshift Live, Darren was saying, things are weighted differently as far as like how much danger there is for you when you're either doing combat with the station, helping you, or combat in these very high conflict zones, to which I say absolutely hell no. But also like you can go and rescue people from a station that isn't currently on fire. You know, you don't have to go and rescue folks from a station that's burning, or a station that's got a conflict zone around it. Well, that does like help more towards the war. If you're not feeling confident enough to do that yet, you can go and land at a normal station, or a station that's still effectively fine, but there's Thargoids everywhere else in the system, and you can go and take people from that. There are still evacuees. It's not weighted as heavily, but you're still doing your part, you know.
Yeah, exactly that. In fact, and again, in the system map, if you pick stations or planetary ports that have it's a little fire icon, but not the angry-looking red Thargoid icon, then actually you can take your time. You know, there aren't Thargoids down there. You can just, orbit around the burning buildings and just take in the. It is spectacular. You know, take your time at those if there aren't Thargoids. Land, drive around in the SRV. You know, take it in because it's fucking spectacular, frankly. Sorry,
That was
second
no,
F-bomb tonight. I'm
was,
just so excited about it all.
That was legitimately that was my reaction last week was it was the first thing that I said, just like, this game is fucking spectacular and I cannot get over how they've managed to achieve this. Ben,
just thinking out, Alec, while you've been driving your SRV around and things like that, have you tried taking pot shots with your SRV at Thargoids?
So
how does the Scorpion deal with that?
So funnily enough, I said that I saw in the cutscene that planetary port, and that was the first place I went to.
Yeah.
So then I forget what the gravity on that world was. It was a little bit high. But then the very next thing I did, and I spent 2 days doing this, was trying to find a planetary port with a tall tower, because I got this idea that what I really wanted to do was drive up a burning tower.
Oh, God.
Which I managed to do. So there's a video out there on my YouTube channel of me driving up a towering inferno, and it was fantastic and spectacular. And then what I was doing this morning actually was I went to do the same on a tower that had combat going on around it, because a lot of the combat was quite high up and I couldn't target anything from the ground in the SRV. And I thought, well, maybe if I can park on top of one of the tallest skyscrapers, then I can have a go. But unfortunately, the instance got cleared and there were no more Thargoids in it. But I'll be back to that tomorrow. I definitely want to try and take pot shots from an SRV and see how that goes.
Yeah, slight follow-on from that then. I don't suppose you or Psychit, have either of you tried taking pot shots at, say, scouts from your on-foot things?
I haven't been on foot since
Right.
update 14 dropped.
I was just wondering how a sniper rifle, say, would do against a Thargoid scout.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I think that would be interesting to check.
Yeah, I really want to try it. Again, I think if you can get anything within range, because a lot of the combat seems to be up in the air a little bit. But yeah, game to try it. I think it'd be fun.
What have you all found yourself gravitating towards doing? I know Alec has spent a lot of time just like looking at stuff, which is perfectly valid. Kate, what have you found yourself gravitating towards as far as like any sort of new game mechanics?
At the moment, I'm just trying to engineer the hell out of things so I can basically go and I'm looking towards doing a lot of evacuation missions, but I need to do more Goid combat. So to be honest, that's not something I've done a lot of at all. But it's something I need to sort of get in there with friends and get them to talk me through it. As I've already reached out to you about doing some of that.
We did a big group of it last Saturday. We did some big group Thargoid combat, and that was legitimately some of the most fun I have ever had in game.
And I mean, that's another thing to notice about this type of gameplay and this coming into it. It's probably going to encourage more of that, that multiplayer sort of team-based, team-based sort of gaming.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool. So I want to get into that's what I'm really looking forward to doing. But I'm just trying to get a decent build of a ship at the moment. So I'm doing a bit of an engineering grind now to do that as well.
For sure, Alec.
Oh yeah, Kaytee just reminded me of something actually. I think this might have been a comment I heard on Loose Screws, but it really struck a chord with me actually, which is that so I am definitely no AX combat pilot, but I gather that when you're fighting the interceptors, the scouts are a bit of a pain in the arse and a bit of a nuisance because they disrupt the flow of the combat for you quite heavily. So they made a really good point, that is that if you're quite new to this, then don't be shy. Get stuck in on those scouts, because it really helps out the better pilots that are taking on the interceptors, which I think
for sure
is a great point.
For sure, and it's a lot harder for those of us with our fixed weapons to hit. What I find, it's a lot harder for me with fixed weapons to hit a scout than it is to hit a petal. And to be fair, I only hit a petal like 2 times out of 10. Kate.
Loving the escape ships in there as well, the rescue ships, the fact that they're making it more accessible for AX combat, because there's numerous ones of those, and they've got those basic AX weapons there, so people can do the entry level AX stuff and can get involved in it quite easily and quite quickly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can see I was gonna ask Ben like a similar question, like what he was getting stuck in on. I can see him fighting Thargos at the moment. Well, I say at the moment, he might be like
I just got shot down, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miggles and I were that looks like Thargon's there. Miggles got interdicted. So I was like, okay, I'll come in and see you. And I was like, okay, it's just a couple of scouts. But I think they've brought friends.
Yeah, they've got friends.
They've got
Friends drop in as well.
Oh, yeah, bye-bye.
Are you dead? Are you dead, Ski?
I'm deaded.
Rip. Rip. F in every available chat, please. I would very much appreciate it for Ben. I have seen the Freebuy screen a fair amount.
Ship go boom.
Ship go boom boom.
Ship go boom boom. It is what it is. It is what it is. We've it's been a lot. Myself, I like you were saying earlier, Kate, I've got like huge FOMO. Like I start doing something and I'm like, oh my God, I want to experience something else. I want to go and see this particular thing. I'm really like, I want to jump in game right now and go and see a Coriolis that's shut down. Since Alec has mentioned that they are in game, I'm fully chomping at the bit for that. There's little things as well that have been tweaked, like the having pilots like NPCs send repair limpets and decontamination limpets at you is just so wonderful. Like that's new, isn't it? This
oh yeah, I've never
this
seen
update.
that before.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, if people are flying around and they're constantly hearing decontamination limpet failed and wondering what the hell that's going on, I don't know why they're failing. Is that because you don't need any decontamination?
I think it's something to do with when you get hit as well. If you're in the middle of a fight, and I don't think the decontamination limpet, by all means, correct me if I'm wrong, feel free anyone, but I don't think that the decontamination limpet can lock on if you're also getting injured. I think the repair limpets can, but the decon can't, or it's the other way around. I can't quite remember.
Oh, sorry, I've just remembered something that was really funny.
Go.
The first time I got all those decontamination limpet failed messages was when I was driving my SRV up the Towering Inferno, so presumably they can't lock onto SRVs.
I think you're a little bit low because it goes underneath your vessel, but then you're halfway up.
But it was funny that they were still trying. So this little SRV is driving up the side of the skyscraper, and they were still trying to send.
Bless them.
It's hilarious.
Bless them, such legends trying to get that done. I know there are conversations that you and I have had, Alec, about boldness and bravery, which is something that I would really like to touch on because I was misconstruing it from you earlier in the week when you were saying, oh, it's really bold that Frontier have decided that it doesn't really matter whether you're a player faction or not, everyone's like in the same boat.
Yeah. Do you want me to?
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, what I meant by that, and I have seen a couple of people in chat say similar, is I've often felt like Frontier are a little bit risk averse with the game. You know, things like black holes that we can't really hurt ourselves on, and a lot of the combat has been very much opt-in. You know, here's a dangerous thing, threat 8, if you want to drop into it, or I don't know. It's all very like they were very aware that it felt to me that Frontier were very aware that the game was full of new players and they didn't want to necessarily rock the boat. And obviously there are player factions, and so I think when they hand play stuff, they often took quite a lot of care to try not to, you know, disturb anyone too much. And it really feels like they've just gone, what the hell, let's just throw a war. And you know, it's just kind of it feels quite bold of Frontier to decide, yeah, people are going to get hurt and player factions are going to get trashed, and we just can't worry about that anymore. You know, we have to let this war be realistic and indiscriminate. And yeah,
I feel like it's more of like, well, these player factions are the ones that are going to be attacked first. Don't worry, you're all going to have your turn. It's not a problem.
But
Yeah, I
these
gather
are
loose screws are next, aren't they? Aren't loose screws like right
oh
in the firing line
please don't hit Snooky San. I'm gonna be so upset. That's where my station is. I'm gonna be playing 15 hours a day every day. Oh no.
But it's great because that's how it needs to be. It needs to be
Yeah.
indiscriminate. These Thargoids don't give a shit who we are, so it needs to be indiscriminate to feel
For sure.
the way it feels.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah. For sure. Kate,
You're talking about the player factions. I'm, thinking nobody's really mentioned that yet. When would you're going to have this war aimed at those faction home bases, and there might be conflicts going on in those systems anyway, and it's going to be interesting seeing whether factions start working together, putting those differences aside, and how it's going to change a lot of dynamics like that. So that's going to be really interesting. It's changed the game on such a massive level, on so many different levels, I should say.
Darren mentioned something along those lines on Frameshift Live as well, saying maybe we'll see these two-player factions who have been at each other for so long and are now against it and are now having to work together against a common goal. So my original take on that, from when you said that, because text is really difficult to infer tone and things along those lines. My original take from that was like an impression that it shouldn't be something that Frontier's doing, because people who have put their player factions in the game should have ownership over those player factions in the game. And Frontier doing that is bold in that it's going to upset those people. That was my takeaway from it, because I've seen that happen so many times as well, where something's happened in a player faction base and someone's opened up their notes app or done an open letter to Frontier on Twitter, and it's just like, you give that player faction, or you place that player faction in game, and at the end of the day, that player faction in game is just what your squadron is aligned to. It's a nice allowance that Frontier give, but it's their property. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yes.
With those things.
I mean, actually, Psychic, and as I recall, the way the conversation started in your stream when I raised it, and what I was genuinely curious about is I haven't heard or read a comment from the Brazilian player group that's been in it, and I would love to know how they feel. I mean, I think if it was me, I'd be really excited. Actually, I think it would be brilliant.
Absolutely.
But I don't know how they feel. I'd love to know how they feel.
I know one of the second ones, the Dogs of Law are a player faction that have been very, very heavily affected by that. And the Dogs of Law, the person in charge of Dogs of Law is my very, very good friend, and the podcast that I sometimes cheat on this podcast with, co-host Mal for the Win. So he's like dead excited about it. So I'm all for it. I'm like, you know what? Come for us. Let's see what we can do. Let's see how well we can deal with it.
Because the other thing is, we've had the BGS for people that have been playing the BGS, heavily, have been doing it for years, and the wheel just goes round and round. It's fine and it's fun, but it must get a bit tedious, and I feel a little bit like, there's a scene, this little meme I love to use. The scene in Waterworld, and there's the old guy that's working down in the sump of the tanker ships, and Kevin Costner drops a flare down, and the old man's last words are like, "Oh, thank God," because everything explodes. And I sometimes wonder if the BGS players feel a bit like that they've been turning this wheel round and round and round. And suddenly, like, we've just had a war dropped on it, and it's like, oh, thank God, this is shaking things up. Now we've got something fun to do.
I imagine there's just from like a personal standpoint, there is like a huge section of me that's like, yeah, bugger it, burn everything, burn the one system that my factions managed to be in. It's great. Let's see what happens. Let's see whether we can take it back and all of that kind of stuff. And then the other 50% of me is like, but we worked really hard to get those factions. We worked really hard to get all of those stations in. It's a really it's really difficult, and it puts those of us who are huge BGS players, and I've been doing it since, like I've said this many times, the BGS is something that I was interested in Elite, and then I found out about the BGS, and then that was it. You know, I don't think I'd still be playing Elite now if it weren't for the BGS grabbing hold of me and sucking, and I was going to say and sucking me in, but I'm glad that I didn't say that on something that's being recorded, because that would be really awkward, wouldn't it? But we have there's so much of a love for it, so it's really interesting. It's all just fascinating to me. But if they attack my station, I'm gonna be real mad. I'm gonna be bare mad. I really am. And if they hit my station, however, Loose Screws are looking after it, and I hear that they're pretty good with Thargoids. So fingers crossed. Does anybody have anything else that they want to talk about with Update 14? Anything that we feel like we've missed?
I'm just glad they burnt it as much as they can, and I hope they burn it a bit more, to be honest. I'm actually just impressed that I never thought FDev would actually burn it as much as they've done and make that much of a dent with the Thargoid War. I'm just really glad they have. You look at all the best types of sci-fi out there, and you look at like all the films, they're all based around big dramatic struggles, you know, be it Star Wars, whatever you look at. And that's what it feels like. It's bringing this big sort of galaxy thing going on at the moment. It's just so exciting.
Alec?
Yeah, I don't know. This might be a good time to raise it. Maybe we can get it in the show notes. There's actually a brilliant thread on the forum started by Ian Doncaster called "Analyzing the Thargoid Simulation," and it's really worth a read because it goes into all the different states, and it's full of questions. Like there's loads of stuff in italics that blanks to be filled in about how things work and what effect things have. But it's a real studious attempt to try and work out exactly what's going on. But it's brilliant because it's so complicated. And one thing that struck me, so when Frontier do a CG, for example, I mean, obviously they're getting good at it now, but when you're trying to set the goals, you have no idea how much effort the players are going to put in. I guess they can guess now because they have so much experience, but certainly in the early days, they're almost plucking a number out of thin air. And
Yeah.
so with this, Frontier have had to guess how much effort the player base is prepared to put in to turn the tide of the war. And I can't help thinking they can't have got it right. The odds of them getting it right first time are like 0. So presumably Frontier have some dials behind the scenes that they can twist a bit. Do you think?
One would assume so.
Yeah.
I think it's really tricky. I genuinely feel like it's going to be really tricky for what they want is to make us feel hopeless.
Yeah.
To the point of like, okay, we're never going to win this, and then let's say Salvation 2.0, but it's not going to be Salvation 2.0 because let's face it, absolutely the fuck not. But let's say for example, our new our engineer friends with this new community goal, we're going to start getting more weapons, more things that are going to start making it incrementally easier for us. So
yeah, I guess as well as the idea of some sort of secret knobs that they can twist just to affect, how fast the sliders move. They obviously have some sort of much more upfront cards they can deal. So they can, to some extent, maybe decide when the remaining 5 Stargoids hit. Probably not. I mean, it'll be a bit odd if they just suddenly stop and don't get any closer. But to an extent,
actually, we're going to slow down now.
they can deal those cards. I guess they can also, and maybe this is something we can touch on, but they can choose for there to be more. If we start doing too well, they can have another wave of 8.
Of course they can, yeah.
And of course, the other thing is
There's many more Thunder named gods, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then new weapons, of course. I mean, there was the Galnet article ages ago about I forget which engineer it was, but working on the Grelics. And at some point, I think you're dead right. I think things are going to get worse before they get better. So things are going to look very, very bad, and then Palin, I guess it was, will go, aha, I've finished researching the Grelics.
Ramtar. I was going to say it. It's Daddy Ram and Papa Palin that are doing the two.
Awesome. And then they'll come up with the super weapons, and then we're going to kick ass.
Yeah, and then it's going to be another wave, and it's the amount of effort that Frontier have put in on making this like such a ginormous event. It's not going to be something that we can clear in a fortnight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not going to be something that's going to be done and dusted by Christmas. We've got a lot of time, a lot of content, and a lot of struggles, and there are going to be losses, and some player factions are going to be upset, but I feel like I'm making like a big speech now, but we will recover them, and we will get them back.
We'll fight them on the beaches.
Yeah, I really felt a little bit Churchill then, and I struggled with it. I struggled with that internalized that misogyny. Ben,
I mean, I think you raise a good point about the losses and things like that, and we've covered it a wee bit with the whole. You're saying your faction's getting babysat, shall we say? But I do wonder, will factions all group together and today we're going to deal with HR 1354, and we're sending 100 people there, and we want we need 100 people in this one. Right, this one's got Coriolis that's on fire. We need 1,000 people there to evacuate that because it's bigger. And I wonder how I feel about this whole doing everything, just doing what I fancy. And okay, yeah, I only give a shit about Lave, so I'm only going to defend Lave, damn it. Versus, actually, you know what? I really need to go off and I need to go and help Psychic out. Otherwise, we're all fucked.
I mean, don't worry about our system. Fuck it.
It's going to be so interesting to see that, and I think that's the bravery that we're getting out of Frontier. Just this whole human experiment, almost. That is going to.
Here's a question for you.
I bet you people could do scientific research papers on our actions in this. Now we're going to behave ourselves.
How we're behaving. Yeah, no, it's great. It really is great. Question for you, all of you, including anybody who might want to get in the comments. When do you think the next Stargoids are going to arrive? Or inevitably, when and how many? When do you think they will all get here?
I was expecting at least a couple more on Thursday, but who knows? I wasn't expecting a CG on Tuesday, so
true.
What
Anyone else?
Yeah, I think they're just going to.
I think Thursday.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll get one again soon, but I think they're going to just drip feed them, aren't they? Maybe they'll throw us a curveball in there somewhere. Maybe we will get, other sightings will start showing up.
I reckon we're going to get them all by Christmas.
I mean, they're in motion, aren't they? Like we said, they can't slow them down that much.
Yeah, we've got the 8th, the 15th, and the 22nd. 3 more Thursdays before Christmas. I reckon they'll all be here by then. Oh my god! And then we're going to have a little bit of resting cat.
Yeah. Have you seen what your sister said?
Have I seen what my sister said? They're like crispy.
Oh god!
Crispy, and they'll be home by Christmas.
How the hell can Kaytee do such a dad joke?
Well, because she knows. She knows what's going to tickle me. This is what the problem is. And then we'll have some lovely winking cat stuff to do at Christmas, and then it will be full war, and it's gonna be great. Oh my gosh.
Do you know what I'd really like to see is you know in Power Play there's that Power Play bubble map.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that, see as the Thargoid space grows. I'd love to see a kind of like a visualization in the galaxy map of their space.
Or like the power play thing, but with
Yeah. I've always liked that. I mean, I don't really do Power Play, but the one thing I've always visually really liked about it is that bubble map and the idea that you've got
It'd
these
be
overlapping.
nice to see like Thargoid controlled and then human controlled, and seeing what those bubbles look like next to each other. It might make people feel a little bit better, because at the moment the amount of new symbols that are just on the galaxy map in those areas are a little bit overwhelming. I get it. I totally get why it's overwhelming for folks, especially like there've been people dropping into my chat this week going, "Oh, I started last week. This is all very exciting, isn't it?" And we're like, "You've got no idea. It was so lovely beforehand. It was just everyone was
my
happy
sweet
and
summer child.
oh my god, there's just so much going on. It's great.
Yeah, wild. What a first week. And also, let's touch a little bit on the performance as well. I saw who was it in chat? It was Frank, I think, saying that they've been able to fly around in Odyssey in VR and actually been able to enjoy it, because they've seen marked performance upgrades. How about the rest of you? How have you seen the performance?
In VR,
No, go ahead,
Kaytee.
yeah, in VR, I mean, I wasn't that bad for it, but it does feel smoother. I mean, I love playing in VR, so that's always a plus for me. But yeah, definitely an improvement. Even just out of VR in Pancake, it just feels a little bit smoother at times, especially ground settlements.
Yeah, I thought it was too. I mean, I'm not particularly measuring it, and I don't think I was looking for it. I know there was something in the patch notes, but I must admit I sort of dismissed it. So I wasn't looking for a performance improvement. And then I think after about 3 days, I was thinking, this feels smoother. Actually, I think it really does.
I didn't notice that the ship swaps were so much quicker and stuff until somebody pointed it out to me, and then I was like, "Oh my god, they actually are so much quicker. That's insane." It's just everything, like even putting weapons on your ship. Nothing.
Just like changing from like an anaconda to a beluga or something.
Yeah, just like that. It's just quicker.
I think that was a specific bug fix. I mean, I think there was something wrong because
didn't even know that was a bug.
It took a ludicrous amount of time to swap ships, and I think they fixed something in that area actually.
I know that there were people saying that the shadows hadn't completely been fixed, and that was something that Frontier had put on the bug fixes list that had been fixed, but I haven't. Again, it's really awkward for me to say that I haven't noticed, because I've done like literally no on-foot stuff since update 14's come out. I'm hoping that in the new year, or maybe update 15, or more likely update 16, is going to include some Odyssey expansions around this. So
you think that'll be update 16 rather than a part of 14?
Well, we're in 14.
Yeah, well, they have said.
Yeah, no, I don't.
14 will sort of be prolonged.
I don't think we're gonna get. I think update 14 is going to be available in 4.0 for everyone, and then looking at next year, I think update 16 will be one where we start getting on foot stuff, and like Takoso, I am so ready for on foot. I just want to punch a Thargoid in the face. I'm a simple person.
I want to see. Look, let me try and punch a Thargoid. All right. Like I want my Will Smith "Welcome to Earth" moment. You know.
Yeah.
Anything else that is springing to mind for everyone?
I wish I could remember some of the new lines of NPC dialogue. There is so much of it, and the one that just
This is
blew
for
me
Daddy
away.
Savlon. There's a good one for you.
Yeah, and there's one. There's one. They've used one of Burr's lines. I'm sure one of the NPCs said something about sour salad, or one of the There was definitely one of Burr's vegetable quotes in there as an NPC line.
There might be, for sure. They do say some stuff, but whenever one of them says, "This is for salvation, you alien scum," it makes it really difficult to want to finish those missions or finish that war. It's
I
just
could just see you alt targeting onto that one by accident.
You know what? Sometimes you fire a weapon at an NPC. Sometimes it's a Thargoid. Sometimes it's someone who's just said, "This is for salvation."
Yeah.
Because it wasn't for salvation, we wouldn't be in the Earth to begin with.
It's all valid.
Yeah. For sure. But it is going to get a lot worse before it gets better.
Oh,
and we all need to do our part, or at least like jump in and have a look around the burning stations, because it's bloody awesome. There's so many new things that have come in, and it all looks fucking spectacular. I think we shall continue that theme. It feels like, in a long run of tricky updates, this one has been wonderful.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I'm right.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I'm gonna do one obligatory negative-ish.
Of course you are, Ben.
I am actually, because
I have a little tiny niggle as well, and I'll jump in on.
I just noticed it a couple of minutes ago, and I don't know what it is, because it's always been rock solid up until now. There are some times, especially when I'm coming in and doing stuff with the newer Thargoid things, that my audio is going to hell. And I'm getting like the lines are breaking up and things like that, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
That's my one niggle from this expansion.
Yeah, no, I can appreciate that. It has been. There are times when I've been losing sound. The one that gets me always is when you're doing Thargoid combat around a base and you're actively shooting interceptors, and you see the little lines pop up where it's saying, "Oh, it's a bit quiet around here. I'm sure we'll see one of those flowery boys soon," or some kind of something on those lines. I'm sure we'll have something to fight soon. And we're like,
can you not
excuse
look out
me?
the window?
Like, seriously, are your scanners broken? Is this what the situation is?
So
because you're sending me plenty of decom input.
You're not seeing people like, and this is the #1 liner in the galaxy.
No, I've not seen any of those.
No, okay.
I haven't seen any of those, although I do think it every time I've got a ship. Every time Burning Peasant Smell is full of its evacuees and taking them to a rescue point. I'm like, yep, this is the number one evacuation station. Pay no attention to the name. It's the #1 evacuation station in the galaxy. You're all good. You're safe. You're in safe hands in this Corvette. It's not a problem. And the other thing, which I can talk about, because we were doing the recording for a music video, which we're going to come to in a minute. But none of the NPCs in like happy stations are talking about it at all. You'd think they'd mention it. You'd think they'd be like, "Oh, you know what? Thargoids have started invading different systems," but they're like, "Oh, I really miss mining. I really enjoyed mining in my home station."
You mean the on foot NPC dialogue?
Yeah, like ones at concourses are just like on making conversation.
That's interesting. I had it on my to-do list to go and land somewhere and go and have a listen to what they were saying.
Yeah, no, they're talking about missing mining, or they really miss home. It's very funny. I think we will
inevitably probably come back to this again at some point.
Can I actually
So much
just
to
ask a
talk about.
question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, actually, I mean, it's like 100 and something light years away. Do they actually give a shit that some station 100 light years away is getting invaded by Thargoids?
The war ain't going particularly well, Ben.
It ain't, but, I mean, okay, so...
Or they could at least be saying, oh, 3 of these maelstroms appeared, but there's more on the way. What's going to happen when everything gets here? Just like little bits of nervous conversation like that.
I know where you're coming from, but then, in the UK, we're not exactly bricking ourselves about what Putin's doing next.
Are we not?
I know what you mean, but it is a topic of
Well,
conversation.
I think we're more worried about fuel prices and things like that.
Well, yeah, but there's immediate stuff, and then it's like, oh, well, look at the shit that is happening in the rest of the world. Especially in the UK, like we watching the news, it reports on all different areas. When Salvation attacked the Thargoids, that was being according to the cutscene that we had, that was being broadcast everywhere. So we should know. They should, other NPCs should know about it and at least have some kind of, I don't want to say fear, but some kind of like, it's something that it's a small talk thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just something. I agree with you that they should be doing this, but then I was thinking, how much does, say, Joe Schmo in the middle of nowhere, rural America, give a monkeys about what's going on in Eritrea? Whereas to everyone living there, it's like, yeah, we're fucked.
I appreciate that. Joe Schmo, no, maybe not, but if there were 3 countries that aliens landed on and started spreading out, you bet your ass the whole world would be talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little thing that's niggled me about the update, but that's relatively small.
I guess throwing in loads of new text lines of embassy dialogue's easy, but getting voice acting,
it's awkward.
Do a bunch of.
It's all. I'm sure it's on the to-do list.
Yeah, I forget the NPCs that have these conversations in the concourse. Are they lip synced to their lines of dialogue? Can't remember.
I think the mouths might move, but I don't know that they're fully lip synced.
Probably not closely. Okay.
I think looking at the time, we will leave it there for today. I'm sure this is going to be a topic of conversation that's probably going to take us through to the new year anyway, with more things to talk about and things along those lines. So what we will do now, I think, is move over onto the community corner. Now.
As well.
Huh?
That's been a bit quiet and all, hasn't it?
Has it? Has it really? There's been one. I don't know if anybody has seen it, but there is something going on that has been going on, and I'd love, if possible, for Chris to just be able to play the video. That'd be great.
One of the 20th century traditions that has survived to this day is the charity single. Each year at Christmas, the charity singles must take part in a duel to the death because there can only be one. Typically, a large group of fading musicians, celebrities, and non-entities are gathered in one place to make the blandest and most disturbing song ever recorded, and then people are urged to donate money for the deserving cause.
Alice, put the crockery down. There's no room, we can't take it all with us.
Sorry. This year, the cause is Thargaid, a charity dedicated to helping poor people flee the bubble ahead of the impending extinction of mankind.
We'll just have to choose. Yeah, choose between the china and the special toys. Just make sure you bring the damn whiskey.
Fanny Longburn and Willie Stroker are hoping to revitalise their careers by performing on Thargade. Fanny has great enthusiasm for charity, provided it starts at home.
We are joined here in the studio by Fanny Longburn and Willie Stroker, who will be performing in Thargade. Welcome to the studio.
Thanks. It's great to be here for this amazing cause.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
There's an amazing array of stars performing for this charity event. We've got the Tacoso, Orange Phoenix, the Psykit, and the Father Bill, and many others, all giving their precious time.
Who the fuck are they?
They're the other celebrities.
Well, I've never heard of him. Who's that in the scarf with the chrome dome?
Oh, that's Commander Burr and his wife Rini.
Wow! He's punching above his weight, isn't he?
Fanny, this is for fundraising. Can you tone it down a bit?
Yes. We need people to give now. Give money. Every second counts. Just do it now. Don't go down to the pub. We need your money now. Not later, or tomorrow, or whenever you fucking remember. We need it now.
Shall I give out the address for people to send donations?
Fuck the address. Let's just give them the number.
The number to send your donations to is
1429503452799911.
That isn't the donation hotline. That's your bank account number. The money's supposed to be for charity.
Just give us the fucking money!
Fanny!
QVT, QVT!
This Christmas they're gonna kill all of us.
It's Christmas time. There's a need to be afraid.
And at Christmas time, they might conquer soul and infest lay.
All these words of plenty, spread with slime instead of joy. They'll throw their tentacles around our world tonight. But say a prayer to the God at Christmas time, planning death when you're having fun. There's a shape outside your timeline, and it's the cause of cold fear, where the brave and tunnels turning into hyper-addiction tears,
And the Christmas jumping forward, before the booming honks of doom. Well, tonight, thank God it's Bruce inside of you.
And there won't be snow in Seoul, I hear, this Christmas time.
Just caustic burns and Thargoids screaming, having fun.
Oh, your canopy will blow, and your laps of poise blow. This Christmas they're gonna kill us all. Here's to you, helping saving everyone. Here's to them, watch them killing just for fun. This Christmas they're gonna kill us all.
Hear them all. It's Doctor Who. I love this show.
Okay, seriously though, this is the best we can do. They're gonna kill us all. We're singing. I think way to go, LCU. But hey, at least it's fun.
Respect.
Free from sorrow, let the bubble burn tonight. Oh, free from sorrow, get out while you still have time. Oh, free from sorrow, let the bubble burn tonight. Oh, free from sorrow, get out while you still
Okay, that was that. Apologies for the. No, I was going to apologize for the amount of swearing, but fuck it, it's been a bit of an episode. I'm not going to lie. That is a charity single that a bunch of commanders did, getting together, cajoled together by LCU and Beetlejude, getting some folks together. The music was arranged by Commander Takoso, and the video was put together by LCU No Fall Like One. Absolutely wonderful. We have a there is a Just Giving page at justgiving.com/page/Thargade. We've raised so far £1,325 of a £5,000 target. Myself, Ben, and Kate are all in that video. And it was so much fun. It was so lovely to be asked, and some to be a part of that.
The worrying thing is LCU's got us all singing the entire thing.
I'm fine with that because I'm really comfortable. I've got Tom's got two versions for me. He's got the tune and the harmony. So.
Oh really? You sung the whole thing and then they've just cut the lines that they wanted
Yeah,
to use?
yeah. We all sang the whole thing. You can hear a lot of my harmonies. You can hear a lot of me and Paige harmonizing all the way through it. And I hear myself in it a lot, and I'm like, oh god, oh man. But yeah, it was Tom painstakingly put us all together to make us sound a little bit less of a chaotic
I think the
cacophony.
pain was for him.
I just went for it on that. It was like complete full-on rock star moment to do that.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome.
I think we had to really, didn't we, Kaytee?
Oh, absolutely! Yes, absolutely screamed it.
This is happening, and own it.
Yeah, you've got to if you put yourself, if you agree to shit like that, go all in. Go all in, and hopefully we can hit that £5,000 target. It'd be amazing.
Give us your fucking money.
We know it's a tricky time at the moment for a lot of humans, so only give us your fucking money if you can. But in case you missed in case you missed it, that link was justgiving.com/page/Thargade. By all means, please visit that and go and do a thing.
Give us your fucking money.
Yeah, quite exactly. This has been an episode. Colin's going to be like, I didn't like how much swearing was in that one, guys. You're going to have to tone it down. And what will we say collectively? Fuck off, Colin. Okay, moving on. Moving on to our Mostly Clueless section. The Mostly Clueless this week, it doesn't have who it comes from.
Oh,
but
I might remember that. Who was it?
It is it's saying in Odyssey.
Oh, it's from me.
It's from Ben. In Odyssey, you can buy back modules that you've accidentally sold, Ben. How would you go about doing that?
Well, I might have gone off and accidentally sold things, and was like, how the hell do I go and how do I go and buy back my engineered weapon that I didn't mean to get rid of, or something annoying like that? And it is actually quite hidden, but basically go back to where you were, go back to the module slot that you just sold. So if it was a weapon, go to your. If it was like a multi-cannon, go to your multi-cannons, and then you got to scroll possibly all the way down to the bloody bottom, and hopefully you'll see one of them's got a little sort of like curvy arrow, and that little curvy arrow means you can buy it back. I don't know about anyone else, but I thought it was quite obscure to find that, and it was hard. But you can do it, so that's the good news.
Excellent. So if anybody didn't know that, you can do that. You can get your items back. Okay. Does anyone have any other business that they would like to bring up?
Do your part.
Yeah, do your part. Do your part. Get stuck in. I will say, I have seen that the CG is now saying that it's going to be complete within a day. So people have really mobilized and they're doing their part for that one, Alex. So it's all good.
Okay. There you go, Ben. There's no need to fret about it. They've got it covered.
Yeah, everyone
It's
else
all
is
good.
doing it. That's fine.
It's all good. You don't have to worry about FOMO from that one.
When you see recruitment adverts now up in the stations, that would be good because everyone's saying doing your part. And if we see more sort of focus towards the war ones, that would be cool.
I'd like
absolutely.
that. That would be great. Yeah.
I'm absolutely not already DMing Chris Mock4 about those very adverts. Definitely not. We haven't messaged each other at all today. Not at all. So we will move on to the shout outs then, if that's all good by everybody else. So while the team on Dex Island take a well-earned break before this series 2 return, there's plenty of material to fill the void. Point your auto assistant to your favorite podcast app, including Spotify and Audible, and search the Dex Legacy. There you'll find bonus edition interviews with cast members and with the writer Emily Inkpen. There's also plenty of bonus materials and merch at thedexlegacy.com. All proceeds go towards the making of season 2. Our sister station, Hutton Orbital Radio, broadcasts on Thursdays from 8:30 p.m. You can tune in at twitch.tv/Hutton Orbital Truckers, or for just the audio at radio.forthemug.com. For the discerning commander who likes a bit of CQC action, check out the CQC Discord at discord.me/Elite Dangerous CQC. We're also giving shout outs to the following Elite Dangerous podcasts, which have appeared over the last year, or are standard regular contributors. Flight Assist still has old episodes up. We might come back at some point. We'd love to. We're going to see how that works in the new year. We have the Guard Frequency, who do other space games, and also our friends across the pond, Loose Screws. Now, big question is, do we have... I thought we were going to have a Galnet News Digest. I'm hoping that we do.
We do have Galnet.
We do, I think.
Perfect. Perfect. We have a Galnet News Digest that's provided by Commander Wotherspoon and Commander Beetlejude. Thank you to those who have chipped in on Twitch chat and our in-game commanders. Who have you seen, Ben, and the others?
I've seen nobody who said hi, but I've seen a few people around the... Oh, I did see Miggles, yeah.
You saw Miggles? Okay,
I saw
cool.
Miggles. But other people have just been random people who I've been bumping into and saying hi.
And
but probably not listeners to the show, or if they are listening to the show, they didn't say it.
They are doing their part. That's what they're doing. Special thanks goes to Commander Takoso, JN Trax, and Alan Stroud, who created the music used on the show. That's it for another episode of Lave Radio. If you would like to get in touch with the show, then you can email info@laveradio.com, hit us up on facebook.com/laveradio, or tweet us on @laveradio. You can join our Discord server by going to discord.io/laveradio. We also have a TeamSpeak server where commanders come to hang out and chat, which you can find at teamspeak.laveradio.com. Do get in touch if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like us to discuss in a future episode. Lave Radio is recorded live on a Tuesday evening at 8:30 and streamed out on laveradio.com/live. Thank you to Ben.
Give us your money.
Thank you to Alec.
Thank you, Psychic.
Thank you to the lovely Kaytee Khaos. Thank you for your short notice and coming on and being amazing as always.
Jabba.
And special thanks to today's tech specialist, my collaborative partner of just an amazing human being, the Chris Mock4.
You're welcome.
Hey! Until next time, commanders, give us your fucking money, fly safe, and if you can't do that, fly dangerous.
Is your life like this? Sounds like someone having an orange inserted. Need a safe word.
Space Cathedral.
I'm gonna see the galaxy.
Ah, damn it. No worries, guys. Hold the fort for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
Galnet News Digest, 6th of December 3308. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, we look at alternatives to fighting Thargoids in order to help humanity. We look at the anatomy of a maelstrom. And we wonder how long Vista Genomics will be willing to pay out as much as it currently is for exobiological data.
You don't have to fight Thargoids to help humanity. There are many who believe that allowing the violence to escalate may be counterproductive, presumably including what's left of the Thargoid Advocacy Project. Well, the good news is that violence may not be necessary. There's evidence that a decent humanitarian effort may be sufficient to persuade the Thargoids that humanity is well organised and that the only option available to the 8 tentacled aliens is to retreat from the system. Humanitarian actions include bringing emergency supplies to stations in attacked systems and evacuating civilians from these stations. There's already a massive evacuation effort going on to save populations from systems that are actively under Thargoid attack, and the stations are also gratefully receiving donations. Unlike the old rescue missions from burning stations before the Thargoid invasion, now ships need to be fast, as they'll inevitably be hyperdicted and interdicted and attacked by Thargoids, and the best means to avoid damage is to fly away faster than the Thargoids can follow. Rescue ships also need a decent jump range, as the rescue megaships have to be placed a safe distance outside the Thargoid sphere of control. Heat sinks can be helpful to avoid detection, especially while docking, but are not essential. Similarly, ships that take missions to bring in emergency goods, which can be quite varied, need to be nimble and to have a sufficient jump range to source and deliver the necessary supplies. Both of these activities are believed to make a real difference to the balance of power in Thargoid-attacked systems. There's a countdown timer that shows the balance of power between the green influence of the Thargoids and the purple influence of humanity, which seems to count down in Thargoid weeks, which are as long as a human day. If humanity wins the conflict, even just by peaceful actions, then the Thargoids will suffer setbacks and eventually leave. Captain Justine Kemp of the rescue ship Hutner, which is stationed in Enaex, described the flow of refugees as unprecedented. Evacuated citizens brought to the rescue ships are triaged and any immediate needs dealt with before they're shipped out to temporary accommodation away from the war zones. There is a risk, as the Thargoids establish more maelstroms on the fringe of the bubble, that the refugee crisis may become critical as the supply of shelters runs out. To address this, it's likely that an appeal may be made to source and deliver emergency accommodation to house the refugees. It's unclear when the remaining 5 Stargoids will arrive and establish themselves as maelstroms. It seems likely that at least 2 will arrive this week, with the remaining 3 arriving the following week. Thankfully, It appears that they're heading for the fringes of the inhabited bubble. If they'd set themselves up in Sol, Alioth and Achenar, humanity might be on the point of surrendering already.
Commander Dylan D of YKE Technologies has been doing some investigation into the Thargoid maelstroms, making reference to the logs of Commander John Jameson, who 150 years ago piloted a Cobra Mark III close to a Thargoid hive ship in order to deploy the mycoid virus warhead. The commander notes similarities between Jameson's report and the characteristics of the maelstrom. Jameson masked his heat signature to thread his way past the perimeter, and that's exactly what you must do to bypass the caustic generators that pulsate within the 100-kilometre perimeter zone. Heat sinks, or a very cold running ship, can help you make your way through that perimeter, which also has apparently non-hostile Thargoid interceptors patrolling it. The next challenge, after a considerable journey, is the Thargoid shutdown field, or maelstrom EMP pulse, which seems to be at about 30 kilometres from the heart of the maelstrom. A shutdown field neutraliser is only partly effective against this, leaving the HUD active, but the ship defenceless. At the heart of this second perimeter, hypothesises Commander Dylan D, is the Thargoid hive ship, which may be similar to the wrecked ships we've seen on so many planets in the Pleiades and elsewhere. Those wrecks are nearly 4.5 kilometres in diameter, similar in size to a Coriolis starport, so that may well be the size of ship we can expect to find at the heart of the maelstrom. If Commander Dylan D is correct. Commander Jameson described the hive ship as beautiful, helping him to understand how intelligent and technologically advanced the Thargoids must be. Jameson is one of a very small number of people who can ever have seen a hive ship up close. He was tricked by Salvation and Inra into delivering a virus that not only disabled Thargoid technology, but which also caused the excruciating deaths of countless Thargoids. That was the first of two events. The second being the detonation of the Proteus wave that persuaded the Thargoids that humanity was a sufficient level of pest that they had to be dealt with. There are many commanders who remain Thargoid advocates. Through our understanding of the Thargoids' advanced technology, and through our understanding of the causes of the current conflict, it may yet be possible to avert the worst possible outcomes for both humanity and the Thargoids. But with more maelstroms expected to arrive within days, time is running out fast.
Dozens of commanders have reported reaching Elite 5 after Vista Genomics dramatically increased the payout for on-foot biological scan data. The increase is apparently to drive exploration and the discovery of new genetic information in response to the Thargoid invasion. The payouts are very, very generous. They are Sophis and Robigo generous, Void Opal generous. Actually, they're more generous even than that. They're generous to the point that it seems likely that Vista Genomics may need to reduce the amount it's paying, especially for first discoveries, in order to avoid bankrupting itself. But for now, if you need the credits to build yourself a new rescue ship to help evacuate citizens from the Thargoid-attacked systems, you can earn those credits by doing science.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News. We read the news so you don't have to.